Why should it matter if I'm gay, lesbian, bi, or trans? But the moment I tell you, with bated breath and no small amount of trepidation, I see the shift in your gaze, the way you lean away just slightly, and the distaste, or worse, disgust, on your face. I want to scream, take you by the shoulders and scream that I'm still me. I'm the same person I was when we met, or last week, or 2 minutes ago. Why should my sexuality make the slightest difference? The answer? It shouldn't.
My name is Kelly.
Elizabeth.
Quinn.
Sarah, and I like snakes and reptiles.
Watching movies.
To write poems.
Collecting skulls.
It's a really easy way to express myself, and it helps me get out like emotion sometimes.
They're pretty quiet and they make really good companions. And they're all really unique and interesting. No reptile is the same, kind of like cats and dogs. There's all sorts of different patterns and colors of snakes that you can breed.
Consciously or unconsciously, I always pay attention to soundtracks of movies. I really appreciate the way that sound and music really just kind of sets the flow of different movies. I also really like cinematography, the color choices. I pay attention to color palettes as well.
It's similar to collecting anything else. I think it looks cool and it makes me happy.
My mom doesn't really like my pet snake. She was afraid that my snake would escape and terrorize her and my family. And I assured her that my snake wouldn't escape, and well, over the summer that happened twice. So my friends really like her. They think that she's really, really neat.
I think people don't understand the intensity of my hobby. More times than not, I talk a lot and overanalyze movies a lot more than most people are at like a comfortable conversational level of having.
People usually think it's really weird, including my parents, who are kind of grossed out and kind of intrigued, which is like the general opinion of most people.
I don't think my parents know that I write poems, but I've shared some of my poems with my friends and like other people, and everybody seems to like them, so that's really nice. I'm Elizabeth.
Sarah.
Kelly.
Quinn, and I am queer.
Asexual.
Pansexual.
Bisexual.
Asexuality is actually really simple to understand. It's literally just the lack of sexual attraction to people.
Queer is a very ambiguous term for people that don't feel like they solidly fit into one label. In my case, I am more or less exclusively homosexual, but there are some brief moments where I'm attracted to women, and I do appreciate women as people.
Being pansexual, I find people attractive regardless of their gender. A lot of people confuse it with bisexuality.
I consider bisexuality to mean that I have the potential to be attracted to either guys or girls. It doesn't mean that I'm attracted to like every guy or every girl at all, but it means that I could find someone attractive who's either gender. Like gender doesn't really matter to me.
I believe my parents do know, although they may not understand the concept of pansexuality. I've told them.
It was different than I thought it would be. My dad was more accepting than I expected, and my mom was less. But she's trying to come to terms with it. It's just not necessarily an easy thing for her.
Both of my parents know. Both of my parents are fine with it. It's never been any kind of point of contention.
My parents sort of do because I told them, but they kind of like, they didn't believe it was an actual thing, and I was just like a late bloomer, or you know, just didn't find the right person yet, which is a really common assumption. I mean, it really sucks to hear someone say, no, that's not how you actually are, and like, I know you better than you do. But like at this point, I'm kind of past the point of caring about what they think.
What's important about the fact that there are differing sexualities and there are differing ways of people that are coming out, I think it's important to always, always, always remember that in our differences, that it's an aspect to be celebrated, not lumped together. You can't just say that we all bleed red.
Whatever you feel is right for you is what you should, accept. Like, If you want to call yourself, like a different label than most people use, that's fine. Like, it's all about what's right for you. And I think that needs to be the focus of everyone. And then after you accept it, it's only really then that I think other people can begin to accept it.
It's important to be different. It's important to have likes and dislikes and to agree with some things but not necessarily agree to everything. And it's okay to have differences with your friends or your family because that's what makes people unique. It's what makes us different and it's what brings us together, not just divides us.
I think it's really important to be different and express your individuality because a lot of people like to use that we all bleed red sort of sentiment, and it's true, but we're all different and we shouldn't be erasing all of our differences to say we're all the same because we're not. And that's kind of the point. Like, you don't want to be the same as everyone else. We all want to be different and accept everybody despite their differences.